Yes, ma'am. I strongly advise the only thing which can help you to clear the examination is just mocks, nothing else. Just mocks. Attempt as many mocks as you can.
और मॉक्स को एनालाइज भी करना है.
Huh,
Just don't
that's the
just
yeah.
don't go on
That's
attempting the
yeah.
mock test. You have
That's a
to take a
that's the
pause.
indispensable part.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Welcome to iExam Week. Today we have Divyansh with us. He has recently cleared NIACL legal exam. Congratulations, Divyansh, from the entire iExam Week team. Uh,
Thank you,
Divyansh,
ma'am.
Divyansh, can you tell briefly about your profile? So, about what you have done and how long have you been into government jobs preparation?
Ma'am, as far as my name is concerned, you got to know already that my name is Divyansh Chakrari. I hail from Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. I have done my schooling from the same place, from Kanpur itself. After that, I appeared for the CLAT examinations. After that, I have pursued my law from Banaras Hindu University in 2022. It was a 5-year course from 2017-22. After that, I have been campusly recruited for Tata AIG. I was an in-house counsel there in Noida locations. I have been working there for past 8 months. After that, I have been working with Supreme Court as a law clerk, and currently I have just recently cleared NIACL examinations. That's my whole profile is. That's it, ma'am.
Okay, so you've joined as a Supreme Court Law Clerk.
Yes,
That
ma'am. Currently, I'm
recruitment,
work.
I think, is again active right now.
Yes, ma'am. It's again active. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
The exam is to be conducted on 10th of March.
Yes, yes, the exam is to be there. So, Divyansh, you mentioned that you prepared for NIACL. Was that the only exam that you were preparing for, or you had prepared or given multiple exams before that?
And primarily, as far as this law profession is concerned, each aspirant who has done law always targets for the judicial service examinations or some other examination which is directly associated with law. But that's not the case in IACL because I opted for the examination because there are a good number of vacancies were notified, and I realized these exams can be cracked with a right strategy. So that's why I opted for NIACL.
Okay, so what strategy did you use for your preparation?
Ma'am, as of now, like I cannot tell you what the actual strategy is. I think sometimes clearing exam also requires your fluke as well. It's a part of your fluke. So strategy, I think that you don't have to score everything. Let's say exam is of 100 marks. You don't have to score 100 out of 100. You don't have to score 60 or 60. You have to always realize what your competition is. I realized very recently in the very initial days of my profession that law aspirants are not very much good with the quant or reasoning. They are just good with English. I realized I can be good with English. I have to just master myself with the quant and reasoning. So I realized that's the only thing which made me clear the examinations. That's the actual
Okay,
strategy.
okay. So, what sources did you use for your preparation of quant and reasoning?
Ma'am, primarily at that point of time, I was not very much fumbled at which sources I have to go. So there were few courses which were available online, and some of them which I have referred YouTube as well. I referred few of the courses. Someone named Ashish Mohanty, he teaches mathematics, and some of the reasoning courses. Someone named as far as I can recall at this point of time, someone named Ankush Damba. I referred his courses for the purpose of quantum reasoning, and generally for the law aspirants, English is generally decently well. All of us, like we have a decently well English. I think so.
Okay. And what in an IACL prelims, there was only quant reasoning in English.
Yes, ma'am.
And then in mains, there were many other subjects like
Yes,
G,
ma'am.
law was there. So, what all sources did you use for preparation of those subjects?
Ma'am, primarily going ahead with the pre-part. So it was a sectional timing as well of 20 minutes. So I realized that I have to score at least around 80% in English because there were around 30 questions. I realized I have to score at least 25 plus to clear the cutoff part. And I targeted that I'll be attempting at least 15 questions with maths, with at least 12 of them should be correct. The same goes with reasoning. I attempted just 15 questions for the reasoning, 15 questions of math, and 30 questions of English. And I got at least 13 marks in the reasoning, 12 marks in the math, and 28 or 27 marks in the English portion. Now, coming to the mains part, it was a bit tricky as well because I applied the same strategy. I realized that I'll not be able to good master myself in a short span of time to score very well in the maths or reasoning. I realized my strong part can be the first thing legal, the second thing can be GS, and the most important part English. So I always made sure at least I make at least 100% attempt with a good accuracy in all these portions. And for the reasoning, for the maths, I made the same strategy. I just attempted 15 questions from the reasoning, 15 questions from the maths.
Okay, so you managed your time well since there was sectional timing in all the areas.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. So I was very
Okay.
much sure I don't have to score 100% with the maths because I was aware that's what my capabilities are. I'll never be able to. I was aware of that.
Right. So it's good to understand our own strengths and weaknesses while we are in the preparation, and accordingly we can strategize our
Yes,
preparation.
ma'am.
Right. Divyash, did you
Yes, ma'am.
also attempt mock tests?
Ma'am,
Div-
at that point of time, I had not any access to mock tests, but some mock tests which were freely available. Some of the websites which I cannot quote at this point of time, but few mocks was freely available. I attempted those mocks, and I realized that mocks are going to be very much helpful for each aspirant because the first and fundamental thing I think that each aspirant must take note of that it's not the books which guide you, it's the mock which guide you. That what type of questions are going to turn up in examinations, it is only the mocks. I suggest that each one of can opt for the any of the coaching which is available, but it must have a decent mocks available on it. Let's say IIXM, I have attempted few mocks of the IIXM B as well, which were freely available. At least 5 mocks were freely available from your website as well. I attempted those. So it was a good mocks actually. They guided me very well what type of questions are going to be asked because I was never aware that something is named as inequalities can be asked in reasoning as well. This is the very first time I was being introduced with the inequalities. So the
okay.
mocks can be a guiding factor.
So how much were you scoring in your mocks and compared to your actual exam? So how closely were the mock score associated?
So when I told you very first, like when I started attempting for the mocks, I was not very much aware what type of questions going to be asked. So in the very initial mocks, as far as I can recall, at that point of time, I just scored 32 or 33 marks in the entire mocks. I could not clear the complete English because just 20 minutes timing was there. I think the actual battle is with the prelims, not the mains part, because prelims does not contain a strong area. It does not contain GS, neither law. It just contains quant, English, reasoning. So I think the actual battle has to be won with the prelims itself. So at that point of time, I thought that if I'll be scoring 32, I'll not be able to clear the examinations because from the previous cutoff, I realized I have to score at least 45 plus to clear the examination for the general category candidates. So in the very initial days, I realized I cannot master myself with the quant. I cannot master myself with the reasoning. I have to score good with the English. So I started improving myself. Let's say if I was good with direction test, if I was good with the puzzles, if I was good with the inequalities or data interpretations, so I'll attempt only those questions. If I realize at the very first instance that I'll not be able to solve this puzzle, I am not going to attempt it because it's a matter of 20 minutes only. Because each questions will carry the same marks, whether it's just difficult or easy.
Right.
So in the initial days, I was just scoring 32. Then I improved myself. I realized that I have to score well in the English, not with the maths and reasoning. So I started improving more and so. So as the last mock which I attempted with the I exam B, it was probably I scored around 47 or 48. And hopefully I have scored the same score with the pre as well.
Okay, so I think you were able to improve your score from 30, 32 to 47 by
Yes,
your
ma'am.
year preparation.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
great. And how
And
was your,
I
yes,
Yes, ma'am. I strongly advise the only thing which can help you to clear the examination is just mocks, nothing else. Just mocks. Attempt as many mocks as you can.
और mocks को analyze भी करना है. Just don't,
That's the
just
yeah.
don't go on
That's
attempting the
yeah.
mock test. You have
That's a
to take a
that's an
pause.
indispensable part.
Yes, you have to
That's an
take a
indispensable
pause.
part of the mock.
You have to take a pause, analyze the mock test, understand your
Yes.
weak areas, work on those, and then go and attempt mock test in the next one. Okay. So, and how was your actual interview and your mock interview?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. So my mock interviews, I think so. The mock interviews for the purpose of you familiarize yourself how to talk. It is not going to prepare you that what the substance you're going to speak. That's your own personality. Because I have been interviewed, I have purchased the course of the IXAM for the interview guidance program. Because
Okay.
I had subsequently 2 interviews. One of the interviews my schedule with was for the one of the also companies there named UICCL.
Okay. UIIC.
I cannot recall the name. Yeah, I cannot recall the name, but there was same faculty member from the exam B. Someone named Neha ma'am. She was pretty well. Like she asked me very relevant questions. She made me very confused about my answers as well. She at least like she was very good doing the mock interview. And in the NIACL, she was also part of it, faculty. I'm not able to recall the name of the second person. Probably someone named as Piyush or Ayush. I'm not able to recall that person. So my mock interview will always guide you how to speak. That's the most important part for the interview, because
Right.
like she informed me that, Divyansh, if you don't know anything, don't make any guess. And if you want to make a guess prior to that, at least take a permission from the interviewer that do not you are going to make a guess of it. It always creates a good impact on the internal panel members, because you are not making any vague guesses. So it's a good gesture as well. So I think mock interview is also a very important part of the preparation.
How was your actual interview?
Ma'am, my actual interview was very smooth because there were 5 members. So primarily as I entered the premise, so they already had some details of my previous job experience. So as I informed, I have already worked with Tata AIG. It was an insurance company as well. So as I entered the premise, they have handed over my CV to someone else who was primarily very good with law. So the ma'am in the front said that, okay, you have already worked with the insurance sector. Let sir ask you something about. So sir started asking me some of the questions primarily related to arbitration laws. So he asked me directly questions from a particular section. Where does the section contains? What's the position of this section? Tell me section number. So I was not able to answer that. As I told you in the mock interview itself, Neha ma'am informed me that, Divyansh, do not make any vague guesses. So I said, sir, I don't know. So he asked me very directly, so have you read the arbitration law? So I said, sir, I have not gone through the law very well. I just had an overview of it. So he said, okay, we can go ahead something else at which you are good at. I said, sir, we can go ahead with the administrative law, constitutional part, or criminal law. So he asked me at least 7 to 8 questions from the criminal law. And at the very last, he asked about what is the difference between common intention and common object. So he was said, okay, that's nice. Have a nice day. Thank you very much. That was the actual interview. It was lasted at least around 10 to 11 minutes only.
Okay, so there were no HR questions?
No, ma'am. No HR questions have been asked to me. No HR questions. Just
Okay.
everything was related to law only.
Okay. So and Divyansh, during your journey, now you've cleared Supreme Court Law Clerk exam. Then you were already working there. Now you are joining NIACL, and you also cleared UIIC.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
would you like to tell us anything that you learned during your preparation journey, or anything that you feel the mistakes that should not be done?
Ma'am, the very first thing I always think for the purpose of clearing any examinations, primarily which does not contain a very large part of law, is your strategy. If you have a right strategy, you can clear these examinations. Primarily, recently a new examination has been notified. As far as I remember, GIC and NICL. The two
Yes.
notifications. I always advise make a right strategy. How much score you can get, and what your potential is. I think that's the only thing, because I think there are other candidates who possess more knowledge than me. They know more about maths, they know more about quants, they know more about English, but still, unfortunately, they could not clear the examinations. I think there was some mistake with their strategy. I think strategy is the best part that you can opt for clearing any examinations like this. Ma'am, that's the only thing I think I advise to each aspirant who is like a fumbled about their career at this point of time.
Okay. And any mistake that should be avoided, anything that should be avoided.
Never take mocks for granted. Attempt mocks as much you can from whatever sources, wherever is it. If it's free, if it's paid, just purchase it, because nothing is bigger than getting your selection. The
Right.
mocks will not cost you 2,000 or 3,000. That's it. But I am assuring you, if you're going to attempt a good amount of mocks, it will always give you a upper edge from being selected. You'll be always perform well in the examination. I am sure of it.
That's really, really great advice to all the students out there. Okay, Divyansh, that will be all from my end. Thank you so much for sharing your journey, sharing your understanding, your strategies with the aspirants out there. I hope some of them can learn and maybe pick some cues from what you shared today.
Okay,
And
ma'am.
again, congratulations from the entire iExamB team. Wish you all the best for your journey ahead. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.